What up, what up, what up, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. What's going on your Friday night? We are doing a little bit of farm sim multiplayer on Cherry Hills. Doing a little harvesting on field, I think it's field 4. But anyways, been on here messing around a little bit with some equipment, making some changes on the server. I was gonna do a live stream earlier, but I got on here changing out seeders and buying forklifts and doing things like that to try and get the server set up a little bit better. And then Obi-Wan Genobus was on here harvesting field 4 by himself, and I was like, man, I gotta help him out. So Hemi's on here as well. He's doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that over on the farmyard. And we're just kind of chilling out, hanging out, so getting a little harvesting done. What's up, Hurricane? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, just know that I've changed the password on the server, so make sure you check out the server notes on Discord to get the new server password. What's up, Big Mac? How you doing, buddy? Marty, how you doing, man? P. Johnson, 1110. What's going on? So, Mac, you're not gonna be happy with me, but I decided to replace the DB60s with the Great Plains seeders. They're already on the server. They're part of the Big Bud DLC. They work. Shouldn't be any issues with them. And the more I got to thinking about it, the DB60, the DB90 shouldn't do fertilizer anyway, unless you had like saddle tanks or helicopter tanks on your tractor. So, and some special rig. So I decided just not to put them on here. And so I got rid of those, and I bought three of the Great Plains seeders. So got them on here. Scrabble, what's going on, man? How you doing? I didn't get to see your pictures you posted this morning on Discord. I was I hate I missed them. What'd you do? Post them and then delete them? Look at him go. I don't even have to tell him that truck's full. He just sees it's full and goes and grabs it. He ain't nothing but the man, Hemi. You know what? Oh,
yeah, I'm watching a stream.
Oh, you are? Okay. Anyways, so yeah, no intro, none of that stuff. Just
I seen you dumping it, and I know that holds more than the semi does. So.
Yeah. A little gun shy about posting your company truck. I understand that. Berm 115. What's up, buddy? Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the cheer. Appreciate it. Rebel Country 64. What's going on, buddy? Welcome to the stream. All right, so Berm, you got to clear something up for me, because Chris and I were talking. I asked you the other night what was going on, where you been, and all that other stuff, and you said something about you cut 3 of your fingers. And granted, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I didn't read everything, right? And then later on, you said something about they were sewing them back on or whatever. Did you cut 3 of your fingers off by accident? What happened, dude? You have to enlighten me on this. Now I'm like really, really curious as to know what's going on.
You looking for the 3-finger discount?
God. Yeah, me. That's just wrong. I'm sitting here talking to somebody about... Oh my goodness. I was trying to be, you know, polite and nice about it.
You had to find me first, Scrabble.
Yeah. From what I hear, it's an unmarked hole. The hole Hemi lives in has no markings, I'll tell you that. So in case you guys missed it, and judging by the numbers that were watching at the time, Hemi and I already did 5.5 hours of streaming today. Did you realize we did 5.5 hours? Freak!
Either 5.5 or 6, I wasn't sure. I thought it was 6.5. Might have been 5.5. I don't know. It was a long time.
Yeah, it was. Well, we're almost to 70 now.
All I know is I started, we got done there, and I was like, oh, God, I better go feed the dog. Didn't realize it was that late.
I realized it had been that late because my butt was hurting. I don't sit in seats that necessarily that long. Just kicking my butt.
Get yourself one of those shiatsu massage chairs that you can sit in while you're playing.
That's it. Have you ever seen that Gamer King chair or whatever? That it like massages your feet, your legs, everything while you sit in it? Cowboys in, Cowboys out. Must be a bad internet night.
I haven't seen it, but kind of interesting little chair to get.
Yeah, dude, you basically it's full surround for your everything, right? So you sit in it and it's got the massagers in the back of the chair and then the butt of the chair and the heat and everything. And then where your legs go, it's got these slots that your legs go into. And it's got massagers built into that thing as well. Interesting though. Scrabble, thanks man. Yeah, I was curious to see what your what the load looked like that you were hauling. I figured it was something as of you didn't want it to be on there for a long time. I figured it was one of those things like you were in a company truck or something and maybe weren't supposed to be putting pictures up, or like I know a lot of companies make it's you know, against company policy to take pictures of stuff and post it on the internet. Alright, so he was at work helping the mechanic change out the exhaust system on the garbage truck. And he dropped sheet metal panel he was moving to access the bolts, and it sheared his thumb and first 2 fingers off. Oh! Dude.
Yikes.
Oh, man. They got reattached, but got infection, so you were in the hospital since that stream with Rambo. Holy smokes, dude. So sorry to hear that, man. They saved everything but the top half of your thumb on your left hand. Wow. Wow. Seems like we need to be buying you the beer fund. Well, dude, my thoughts go to you. I hope you heal up.
So he said it happened right after he did the stream with Rambo? Did Rambo's bad luck catch up with him?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. What was the name of the mechanic? Rambo?
I had a buddy who worked on a drilling, you know, for wells, water wells, and he was apprentice or learning, and the guy dropped a drill bit down on his hand that was sitting on top of the truck.
Ouch.
Yeah. Was not very pretty.
This avalanche is pretty cool. You can actually rotate the spout on it. I hadn't really messed with it that much, you know, since we got the DLC. Yeah, you can.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, you can actually, if you could actually dynamically fill your trailer, that would be really cool. Yeah, you can actually rotate it. That's kind of neat. Bye, Himmy. So there's this odd little square right here in the middle of the field that wasn't harvesting. I don't know what that was all about. Gonna have to plow that up and see if we can get it to work. I had to harvest it using the crop destruction on here, so it would at least be gone. Oops, I guess I went the wrong way. I figured he'd be back here in this back corner. Oh, there he is. Slow up a little bit there, buddy. Burm 115 70 bits, dude. Dude, save your 70 bits for some, like, you know, antibiotics and beer. Actually, you probably need something stronger than beer. Oh, I'm not gonna make it. I tried. Abraham 1598, thanks for the host, bud. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Good evening. I do appreciate it. So sometime tomorrow or Sunday or whatever, I'm going to work on a new layout for the live streams. I found out yesterday or last night when I was working with stuff, there's a nifty little program that I can use to combine all of the functions as far as like followers, donations, subscribers, bits. I can combine all that into one thing and put it up on the upper bar at the top, and it'll just have the most recent action that was taken will be listed. And I think I'm just going to do that, and rather than try to have recent follower, recent subscriber, recent donation, all that jazz. I don't know. I might do recent follower, recent subscriber, and then combine donation and bits together and let the most recent donation period be there for the money. And we'll just go that way. You got a half gallon of Jameson and 2 liters of ginger ale. Nice. What kind of ginger ale? Now I like me some Canada Dry ginger ale, but man, my dad used to drink Buffalo Rock ginger ale. It's completely different. It's got like a caramel color to it. I've never seen any other ginger ale like that before. Well, except for like New York seltzer water. I think they had a ginger ale that was that kind of darker ginger ale. I couldn't drink that stuff my dad drank. It had a bizarre taste to it.
New York sewer water? What'd you say?
Hey, wasn't it New York seltzer water? Wasn't that the name of it?
I don't know.
I haven't had any since I was like in high school. There was a time back around in the 80s, late 80s, that New York seltzer water was a big to do, And they had all these different flavors like cream soda and lemon lime and stuff like that. I haven't ever really seen them since the 80s, but they had a ginger ale as well, and I think it was dark. You know, there's always like a soda fad that goes around, you know? It seemed like in the 80s, seltzer water was the New York seltzer water thing was it. And then Snapple was the big thing in the 90s, right? And then Arizona tea after that. Have y'all seen that thing on Arizona tea? I didn't realize that Arizona tea only ships their product at night, so that it keeps their cost down on shipping. Thought that was pretty cool.
Scrabble's talking this and the old Budweiser factory stuff.
I don't think he's actually dissing Budweiser. I think he's dissing Natty Light. Natural Light.
Ah.
Yeah, that it's the sewer water that runs out of a Budweiser plant.
I can't read it all from here, so.
Yeah, he's like, sewer water is Natty Light. That's the stuff running in the gutter behind the Budweiser plant. I don't think he's knocking Budweiser. I think he's on a Natty Light kick. You haven't had bad beer until you go to a PX and get Black Label. Just Black Label beer. Which I don't know that they even sell Black Label anymore. I think most of the military places have PBR as their thing.
Well, when I was in college, I learned a very important economical lesson as far as beer goes. If you get that beer so cold that it's about ready to turn into ice, I don't care how bad a beer it is, it tastes good.
It tastes good, exactly.
About the same for me, Big Mac. I gave up beer and pretty much gave it up in '82, so.
I haven't touched beer since, well, when was the 4th? A couple of days ago? 3 days ago. Yeah, I had me some Linnenkugels.
Linebacker? Is the father-in-law called it? Linebackers?
Linebackers. Nice. Hey, what happened to Chris? He got quiet.
Oh, I'm here.
I was gonna say he had to go on a beer run.
No, he's not drinking beer tonight.
Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, he's foo-fooing tonight. I gave up drinking to get drunk. I have a drink every once in a while, but I gave up a long time ago excess drinking. Or even buzz drinking. I might have a beer or two, you know, socially, but I gave up the whole, I don't remember what I did last night drinking.
Yeah, for me that's not cool.
I had one episode that I scared the living wits out of me when I was younger, and I for the life of me, I don't know how I got home. I really don't, you know. And it was one of those things where it could have been the Wolf of Wall Street, for all I know. But when I walked out my front door, my car was still whole. But I don't know how I got home that night, and that scared the bejeez out of me, and that was the end of it for me. Mike Davis, you're about burned out on Diablo 3 again. Oh, man. Himmy and I did 5.5 hours of it today, so... We got our necros up to, well, we finished the game and are like 66. I think I'm 66. Himmy might be 67. So we got rifts to run and a few more levels to get and gear to get, all that other stuff. Well, no, it wasn't really it really wasn't a drink till you black out thing. That wasn't really what I ever tried to do. I just know I have one instance where somebody either spiked what I was drinking with something and I got really trashed. And that was, at that point, was an eye-opener. And I can tell you that's the only occasion ever in my life that something like that ever happened to me. But it also, it was one time too many. It was, because it was more of a, I was embarrassed by it, to be honest with you. It wasn't so much that, it wasn't so much that I woke up the next day and was like, wow, how did I get home? I could have died. It was more of a, wow, how did I get home? Who could I have killed? You know? And that was what really set me off. I was mad at myself for being in the situation that I was in. And two, that somehow I got home. I should have never, ever, ever, ever been behind the wheel of a car in that condition. And I mean, if I'm in the condition where I can't remember how I got home, I should have never been behind the steering wheel. So that right there did me in. That was the end of it. There was no more fun and games after that. I totally turned into the little social drinker. And actually, I went dry for about 7 years before I ever touched another drink. And then after that, it was always just moderation. It was always like a drink or two, and it was never anything else bigger than that. But yeah, I did. I went 7 years without a drop of alcohol. And even now, it's a rarity when I drink. I mean, I've probably had a drink 4 times this year. Maybe 5 times this year. It's not like I don't have a beer cellar or anything else like that in the house, and I rarely ever buy beer. I joke around about Sailor Jerry being my best friend. I've got a bottle of Sailor Jerry around here. I got a bottle of a bunch of stuff around here, but I just really don't partake of it. I don't need it. Wears me out, makes me tired. Let him fill up a little bit. Well, I think that's another thing too, being in the transportation industry, like having a captain's license and like some of the little things too. Like, I don't even associate with anybody who does drugs. Anybody who does drugs, especially people who smoke weed, I don't even associate with them because I can't lose my license over something stupid. And like we had a guy one time that a friend of mine had hired for their company, and they drug tested him and he tested positive for marijuana. And then he tried to play stupid about it and go, "Oh man, I don't do any drugs. I was at a party last night though, and some people might have been smoking or something, and I don't know." And then when he got his test results back and
You guys got quiet.
the preliminary on it was that he tested positive, right, for weed. And but then when his results actually came back, it wasn't that he tested positive for weed. He tested positive for weed. I mean, he blew the chart out. It was almost as if he went and smoked a bong right before he went into to pee in the cup. And he got just astronomically high numbers. So then he comes back and tells everybody, "Oh yeah, I found out what happened is a friend of mine was having a party that I was at, and they had some cookies that they had gotten that had weed in them. I was like, no, you didn't. You don't get that high of a THC content in your blood or in your urine from eating a cookie that's got some weed in it. So yeah, but yeah, I just don't run the risk of it because I can't. I just can't be around it. And it's the same thing with alcohol. I can't afford to get I would never want to get a DUI or anything that would screw with my captain's license. Because if you get a DUI, that goes against your captain's license. So even though you're not operating a boat at the time, a lot of these companies that if they, it's not that the Coast Guard or the maritime industry holds it against you. It's some of the companies you work for, and the particular company that I work for, they if you got a DUI, you can pretty much hang it up. They're not gonna give you the command of a vessel again. They pretty much have a zero tolerance policy. If only they had the same policy for the deckhands on the boat. That would be a little bit nicer. I mean, they pretty much, if a captain says this person's got a problem, they need to go, they gotta go. But if they know somebody has a problem, like, it's an interesting little community, like, they're getting off the boat and they're going to a hotel and they're getting drugs and a hooker, and that's the way they're spending their money when they get off the boat. And when they do that, people know. I mean, it's just everybody in the industry knew what was going on with these people. And corporate knew, but they didn't do anything about it, But if I, as the captain, turned them in and said, this guy's got to go, then they wouldn't hesitate to back me on that call. But I always wish they would have not put the captain in that situation, I wish they would be more proactive with it. To me personally, they ought to have to pee in a jug before they get on the boat like 2 days before you're scheduled to go back out. You ought to have to pee in a jug and get tested again. Yeah, the company doesn't want to drug test everybody every 30 days, but yeah, it would be a good thing. That gets expensive, but then again, them guys, they know all the ways to fix a drug test, so. What size ship did I captain? I do a 300 footer. I used to do supply boats for the oil industry. Running mud boats. I haven't been out in about a year now, just because what's happening with the oil industry. So it's a tough time to work in the oil industry, I'll tell you that much. When it's good for you and me to purchase fuel at the pump at dirt cheap rates, it's not so good for people who work in the oil industry. Okay, so the boat I used to run really isn't considered a boat, it's a ship. But anyways, I did 300 footers, not 35 footers. A 300-foot vessel is a supply boat for the oil industry. It would run pipe, food, shipping containers, mud, all of that stuff. It runs it out to the oil rigs. So when they need pipe out on an oil rig for something, it's got to get out there somehow, and it comes out on a boat. When they're doing like a drill platform goes out to drill a well, that's got to go out there somehow, and usually that goes out on a supply boat. Or if they need a blowout preventer, that's going to go out on a supply boat. If they need, the resupplies for food, the solution they use to drill with, which is called mud, that's got to be hauled out. The cement that they use to backfill, to put the pipes in, all that's got to be hauled out, and that gets hauled out by supply vessels, and I run those. I used to be a captain, and I still technically am. Like, they called me and wanted to know if I wanted some shifts this year, but with my leg broken, I can't do it. I can't go out and do one. Couldn't really do an evacuation drill with a broken leg, so. I don't think I could get into a safety suit quickly with a, braced leg. I miss it though. I like being out on the water. It's kind of nice. But then again, when I was doing that, I wasn't really in a committed relationship with anybody either. And I don't know, it's tough, man. And like, I don't know how some of these married guys with kids, I don't know how they do it. Because usually you're on station for like 30 days. Unless you've got something worked out with a flow where you're out for 15. Which is where I got my job, because I split the shift with a guy who's a friend of mine. And he got me on board to be his relief captain so that he didn't have to spend as much time away from his family. So instead of being out on station for 30 days, he was only out for 15, and then I would go out and take the other half to his shift for him. And so I would do 15 and he would do 15, and it worked out real good. I don't know about 30 days. 30 days would suck. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I don't like being away from home more than 2 weeks. There's too many things that can go wrong in that time, you know? And then when you get back, you're catching up on everything that happened for 2 weeks, you know, and you don't really get to enjoy the time that you have at home, you know? If you're away from home for 2 weeks and then you come home, the first thing you got to do is go through all your mail and all your bills and everything else like that and get all that straightened out. And plus you're trying to catch up with your girlfriend or your wife, or, you know, catch up with your kids. And it's not something I want to do. Putting a dent in this field. I got no idea, man. Berm, it would be a lot. It would be a ton of bales. I know this would be more bells than I'm gonna do. It is definitely more than I'm willing to do. Oh, Scrabble, you want to come bail this field? Man, knock yourself out. Then again, I don't think we have a baler. Maybe we do. I don't know. Oops, wrong button. I'll let him go fill up a little bit. I don't like always just sitting there chasing the whole time.
Yes, we do have a baler. We have a big baler from New Holland, 1290 model.
Yeah, just about the time I said that, I remembered there's one in there. One that came with the farm. It came with the farm, so yeah, I forgot about it. By the way, Mac, I went and bought forklifts for the cardboard plant, the sugar plant, and the greenhouses. I didn't buy one for the yogurt place or for the where was the other one that I realized needed one? Oh, for the lumber yard. So I got no desire to RC UK. I mean, I know Stevie's got a new map out. I knew it was coming. I got no use for another map right now. I really don't. I mean, I really am waiting on Pleasant Valley to... I mean, I'm having a blast doing Pleasant Valley. And in all honesty, I should be playing it, but I wanted to come back over to here and try to generate some interest in this server and get this server active again. Which is sort of served a dual purpose because I don't want to get too much into Pleasant Valley knowing that Pleasant Valley is going to get a new version in another couple of months and I'm going to have to start all over again on Pleasant Valley, and I don't want to be burned out on it completely because I am looking forward to getting onto Pleasant Valley and being able to play it with the building of the factories. So it's a dual thing, you know. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Jeff. So knowing that it's coming soon, then I just kind of given it a little bit of a break. And then when it comes back around with the building of the factories and everything, I'll probably be full bore on it again. So trying to find a balance though between it and this server, you know, so I'm not neglecting this server, because in all honesty I hadn't been getting on here and playing because I was so wrapped up in that one. PV3 will require a fresh game save, because it's going to completely change the game again. You're gonna the way it is right now, the factories are already pre-built and you go into them. PV version 3 will have, it'll be like it was in 15, where you actually have to truck all the stuff over to the land in order to get the facility built. And then once the facility is built and operational, you'll have to, you know, get the supplies over there and everything to get it up and running. So there's much more to it other than just farming for that one. That one's got a whole lot going on. So that's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, RC UK, the reason I say trying to get some interest back into it, it's been going, you know, two weeks at a time with nobody on it, to the point that the host shuts it down. And so as part of their terms of service, if your server goes inactive for so many days, then they pause it and turn it off, and you have to go back in and manually restart it. And they've been doing that quite a bit, and because just nobody's been getting on. And so, and I attribute part of that to me not being on here and not generating any interest in it. So I'm trying to do a better job of getting over here and being on it and playing on it. Maybe some people get on, and varying the hours that I get on it. Sometimes we get on during the day, sometimes I get on at night and play. And I need to be more like I was on Graceland, because on Graceland I was on all the time, you know. And in all honesty, if you couldn't trash the economy so easily in Pleasant Valley as you can, I would probably put a Pleasant Valley server up and be on it every day, and that would be the server I'm on. But because it's so easy to screw the economy up for everybody, I'm limiting who I play with to just my core group. So, but, you know, again, this server's open to, you know, anybody who's in the Discord community and has gone through the screening process, which is not that hard to do. But it's just like, I think if I'm not on here, people aren't interested in getting on here. I like to think it's about people wanting to play together and do multiplayer and just have a good multiplayer server. But it seems like the majority of the people who want to get on here because I'm on here. And if I'm not on here, they don't want to get on here. So it's but again, I'm saying the majority. There are still a good group of people who will get on here and play just because they want to play. So So I've been asking people about the map on this server, asking them whether they're tired of this map or what, and if we needed to change the map. And most people seem to still like this map. So, but a lot of people keep saying they don't get on and play because they don't feel like they can complete, because of the size of the fields. They don't think they can complete anything in the hour or two that they have to get on the server and play. This server, I'm not so much worried about you completing something, as long as like you get to if you get to a point where you're done for the evening. Bad Aussie Gaming, dude, Marty, thank you, buddy. Everybody say thanks to Marty in chat for me. What? Everybody say thanks to Marty in chat for me for the $20 donation. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate it, bud. But anyways, if you want to get on here and play, and again, if you want to start harvesting a field, start harvesting a field. But you know, when you get done, put your equipment back up, and at least, you know, leave a note in the farm sim chat about where you were and what you got done, and what state you left the field in, right? So, you know, if you're gonna harvest, it's pretty obvious where you're at with the harvest. You're, you know, halfway or a quarter. Like I did 2/3 of field 3. Somebody came back behind me and finished it up, right? So that's cool. You know, don't plow 2/3 of a field and leave, you know, the other, or don't start. I guess the one thing that you can't start and not finish is planting. So don't start planting a field and get half of it done and then log off the server, because that's going to cause an issue with the, you know, the field not growing in right. But the rest of the stuff, you can do a part of it and take a break and come back, but just don't leave your equipment in the field. Don't leave a mess for other people to clean up. And if you do have to go after you get a third of the way with something done, put your equipment up and just leave a note in Discord that says, hey guys, I started harvesting field 3, and you know, I'm about a third of the way done with it. There's still a bit more to go, so if anybody wants to jump on and pick up where I left off, if not, I'll be on there tomorrow if anybody wants to get on. Maybe somebody will jump on and help you, but you know, or get in the server and say, hey, look, Thursday I'd like to get on at such and such time and do some planting if anybody's interested in helping me. So yeah, Marty, but the time to get me is during 7 Days to Die. It's not during Farm Sim nearly as much. Though, I mean, it startles me and gets me, but where it really gets me is when I got my back turned and chickadees behind me yelling. That's a good time to startle me. See you, Hurricane. Take it easy. Have a good night. Tonic Elite, hello, welcome to the stream. Good evening, sir. Terry Lee 3135, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, bud. Welcome back, my friend. James Drake, if you look down in the description below, there's a link for Discord. Or down at where it's got the about and all that information. I don't think anybody ever looks at that stuff because nobody's commented on my computer, on the banner for my computer specs. I would have thought somebody would have picked up on that and made a comment about it. In Tonic Elite, I'm doing alright, buddy. How are you, man? You'll go get some stone spelled B-O-U-L-D-E-R-S. I don't think I'm ever going to live down the how to spell stone episode, am I? Now this is stone spelled S-T-O-N-E. But apparently stone is actually spelled B-O-U-L-D-E-R-S.
Is that how they spell it in Britain? In the UK? Rambo! Rambo!
Yeah. Yeah, but it's pronounced boulders or something. Bo-olders. Yeah, you missed it, Rambo. We were trying to get your we were trying to figure out your pronunciation of a word today. Booyah! DJ Nats IRE or IRE. DJ Nats IRE. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Appreciate it. You can't wait until you get to the part where I'm gonna need to supply Home Depot with boards spelled T-I-M-B-E-R-S. I've already run into that one. I went over there and made board pallet at the Cogent, right? Spelled board pallet. B-O-A-R-D-P-A-L-L-E-T. Except then I went and hauled it over to the pallet facility that needed board pallet, and it wouldn't take it. And I found out that board pallet is actually spelling is you know, there's two spellings of board pallet. Board pallet can be spelled wood chips, or it could also be spelled timber. So yeah. Ah, I got you, bud. Rambo says shut up or come over there and use... What word was it? I don't know what word it was. I can't think of it. It was... rodent or so. I forget what it was. The rotin or something like that. I forget.
Oh, it's in that 6.5 hour stream.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that 6.5 hour stream. 5.5 hour stream. It's really only 5.5 hours, but Hemi feels like it was 6.5 hours. So now we've all learned what composta is.
Well,
we've all learned about composta.
I guess your video does say 5 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, 5 hours, 30 minutes.
I was looking at it and I thought it said 6:30.
The eyes, man. When the eyes start going, you're in trouble.
I've been in trouble for a long time, man.
It's a new thing on the menu at Outback. New for Father's Day at the Outback. Steak and composta. I figure it's a Chinese dish, actually. You know, sort of like kung pao chicken. Composta. I guess that's kung pao chicken, though.
Leave my composter alone.
Oh, that got him in here.
Like some chicken and composta. With a little Chianti.
I couldn't resist when you started saying that.
Oh, man.
I had to get Marty to type a message for me because I was in the middle of a mission on armor.
Yeah. Actually, y'all know, we're all gonna fall out over on the underneath the table or off our chair or whatever when Jeff Foxworthy does the next commercial for Golden Corral and the all-you-can-eat composta buffet.
Oh dear.
All-you-can-eat composta this weekend at Golden Corral.
I don't even know what's coming back. Anyway, I'm gonna jump back into finish off the mission.
Yeah,
I'll
go
catch you guys in a little bit.
go finish eating your compasta.
Eat my composter alone. It's not pasta, it's pasta.
Oops, I'm in the way. Wheels 24/7. What up, buddy? How you been doing, man? Good to see you again. Terry Lee, 250 bits. Thank you, sir. Booyah into the cup. Much appreciated, my friend. Thank you so much. Remember to preheat the oven to 350, Rambo. Composta tastes better that way. Ha ha. Make sure your compost is cooked al dente. Do you serve composta with a red or a white wine? That's what I want to know. Ah, right. See, now y'all know that if I was partnered on Twitch, I'd be making an emoticon that was like a bowl of pasta and it'd be composta. Everybody could just spam it in the chat. You have to make a little commercial. Composta. Now that's Italian. Kimmy is so patient. Kimmy's asleep, man. Actually, Hemi's been multitasking. He's been doing the truck and then other stuff as well. Been working on the, he's been working on the dairy farm. Cleaning up the dairy, cleaning up the pigs, making sure they're all fed. Been taking care of that while we've been doing all this.
Classic new mistake. The mic is muted.
Alright.
I think this will be my last run. My meds are starting to catch up. I need to go lay down for a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm not going to be much farther behind you. I'll find out if Obi-Wan wants to continue alone or if he wants to call it an evening as well and pick back up tomorrow. You're gonna keep on trucking, huh? All right. Then we'll leave the tractor and the truck on the side of the field for you, so that you can continue on. All right, ma'am. It's been a long day, and the girlfriend will be here shortly with some dinner. And
all right, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, man. Thanks
probably.
for the time.
If I'm lucky, I'll sleep till tomorrow. If not, I'll be back around then.
Yeah, I know that one. I know that feeling, man. There's been nights when I go to bed at midnight and I'm back up at 3 a.m. So I completely know what you're saying.
Well, have a good one. I'll catch you later.
See you, buddy.
Bye, Hemi.
That was an interesting little stutter there. Wheels, no, I haven't checked it out. I've got it downloaded, but I really haven't been that really motivated to. But like I said earlier, I've been into PV17 so much and playing on it, where pretty much that's all I want to play. And I really don't have any desire to start another map or even to move to another map. And so I really haven't had any interest in it. And really, if I was going to start another map, probably, I mean, I would love to. County Line looks so good. As far as, it looks more like what a farm looks like in Kansas or, you know, out in the Midwest. There's not trees all over the place. It's fields, 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 fields. But they're organic in the shape, and it just, to me, it looks more like what a regular, you know, farm looks like, as far as a U.S. themed farm, and I really like it. But if I was going to switch over to a map, that would be it. But you know, everybody's playing it now. Even Recon's playing it now. So that's not one that I'm into. But in all honesty, like if I was going to put another map on this server, that might be what I go to. But I don't know. I just for me, Pleasant Valley's where it's at right now, because there's always something to do on that map. And you can't ever get on that map and go, well, there ain't nothing really to do. Let's fast track time. There's always something to do on that map. Alright, I'm going to park this here for you, LB1. I'll go empty the truck real quick. And then I think I'm going to call it a stream. You never know until it happens. Anything you say comes mind away. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see what is in the final update for version 2. I just updated to his last update a couple of weeks ago, but like I said, I'm kind of just chilling out until version 3 comes out, and as Jeff said, that'll be in August, and I'm sort of probably going to step away from it a little bit until then. And that way, when version 3 comes out, I won't be burned out on it and can attack it fresh with all the building of the factories and everything, more like what it was in 15. So sort of what I'm thinking about. Yeah. So we'll probably play this one out for a little bit longer, you know, for the next month. Play over here on this server, and then whenever they do the update for version 3, then I'll probably you probably won't see me do anything but it for a while. And that'll give me a little bit more time to finalize the equipment that I want to use on that map. When I go back to that one for version 3, I will probably make that a theme map, probably for all John Deere equipment, you know, because people have been wanting me to do John Deere stuff. So that maybe when I make the change over to a fully modded map with, you know, a few more mods. And I still want to find a good dump truck. Alright. Which actually I know where there's a decent dump truck at. I just need to get it and run with it a little bit and do a little bit more testing on it. But alright, guys and gals, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you for being with us this evening. I appreciate it. I know it's a short stream. It was one of those things where I got on the server and I had a lot of things to do as far as like moving equipment around. Because I sold off the DB60s. I bought 3 of the Great Plains. Why don't I just take the fast way over there? Doo-doo-doo. Hey, let me over that. Anyways, yeah, I did some massaging around the farm, bought some more equipment, and sold off the DB60s. And, you know, taking equipment around everywhere, hauling stuff from the shop over here and getting it all parked and everything else like that. That wasn't something that I wanted to do on the stream, but yeah, I did replace all the John Deeres with the Great Plains seeders, which means if you do corn or sugar beets or corn or sunflower, you're gonna have to, you know, spray the field or broadcast the field before you do it, because it doesn't have the ability to do fertilizer on it, which I kind of wanted to do it that way. So, but yeah, I did a few things, and it was stuff that wasn't going to work in the live stream. So, and then we started harvesting, helping him harvest that field, and I thought, well, you know, he give me a chance to just hang with everybody tonight. So, all right, guys and gals, thanks for being with us tonight. I do appreciate it as always. And like I said, I'll probably be on during the day tomorrow doing something. I'm thinking I may get on the 7 Days to Die multiplayer server. Not the one that Casket and I stream on, but the one that I'm playing on during the day. I think I might get on it and play, because it's like day 93 and I'm working on building my fall pit. And just some other stuff, and I might stream some of that tomorrow during the day, and then maybe do some farming tomorrow night. So, but anyways, thanks again for joining us tonight, everybody, and I will see y'all later. Take it easy. Have a good night. Bye bye. Don't forget, Northern Alex will be streaming here shortly.